Bro, just do it yourself. God.
Typically, I don't get real fancy with my salads. I just stay very simple. And for this particular week, we are going to be putting together a meal prep for grilled chicken salad. So I'm going to start with some organic spinach and some romaine lettuce. And to help clean all of my veggies, I'm going to be using my Cuisinart salad spinner. And inside the salad spinner, I will be using a vinegar water solution to help clean off any spores. And I'm also going to be adding to the salad some red ripe juicy tomatoes. And one of my favorite cheeses I'm using right now is the Tillamook brand, and this is a medium cheddar, which I will be shredding up later. I also wanted to add some hard-boiled eggs to my salad prep, and I had actually set aside 3, but my husband got into them, so I only have 1 left to use today. I had previously meal prepped some bacon, so I have some here that I will be chopping up for our salad. This is some pre-cooked chicken breast that I picked up at Sam's Club. This is the Members Mark brand, and this is the fire grilled chicken breast. This is actually the second time I purchased this. The first time I purchased it, my husband felt like it dried out sort of quickly, so I thought I might get some chicken broth and add that to it after I chopped it up to see if that would help retain some of the moisture. Since we've gone over all the ingredients, we're going to go ahead and begin putting our salad together. The first thing I need to do is wash our veggies. So all I'm going to do here is just place the tomatoes down into the salad spinner, pour over some vinegar, just a little bit, about 1/4 cup, take it to the sink, add some water, sort of slosh it around, wash it around, make sure the tomatoes are covered, and then I'm going to set those to the side for about 10 minutes. And in the meantime, I can go ahead and start prepping some of the other items for our salad. Guys, you're going to see here, I actually let my cheese go a little bit too long, didn't wrap it very well, and when I opened up the package, there you see it. Mold. So I had to go find some more cheese to use. Luckily, I had another whole block of the Tillamook medium cheddar waiting on me in the fridge. So we're going to go ahead and shred up this block of cheese. I've talked before about how I like to shred up my own cheese if I possibly can. I know it's more convenient to buy it shredded because if you look at the package ingredients, it will tell you that they add starches and things, and that's for a coating to keep it from sticking together in the package. And I feel like I can taste that now that I've actually started shredding my own. It just tastes fresher, has a better flavor to do it this way. And I wanted to mention to you, you might notice I have a new cheese grater. And yes, I do have a food processor, but it is in storage. I've talked about that before. I started out with a little simple one, and that didn't work well for me. I was really struggling with that one. It was just sort of a blade and a handle. And then I found my old Pamper Chef mandolin. But guys, that thing was so old. The blades were really dull on them. So that wasn't working very well either. So unfortunately, I had to go buy this little handheld job from the grocery store just to get me through the rest of my life here in this apartment. Now that I have finished shredding all of the cheese, I'm going to go ahead and add it to a glass storage container. I really like using glass because 1, it's not plastic, so it's more environmentally friendly. And 2, because my husband and I both can see what's inside. That way we don't have to open every single container and let more air in. It keeps it more airtight that way, and I think it makes my food last longer that way as well. And plus, guys, plastic can hold germs and bacteria if it gets scratched. So glass is always a better option if you can go that route. I'll go ahead and link my favorite glass storage set in the description box below for you. So 10 minutes has passed, so I'm going to go ahead and pull my tomatoes from the vinegar wash. I don't find it necessary to rinse them or anything, so I just lay them over here on a paper towel and let them be air drying while I move on to the next item that I need to prep. At this point, I should have gone ahead and started washing my greens, but a lot of times, guys, when I'm filming meal preps, my brain isn't quite on task as it should be because I'm more focused on the actual recording of the video. Anywho, at this point, I went ahead and decided to chop up the bacon. And I thought it would be easier if I just laid all of the strips on top of each other and then just took a knife and diced them up. I wanted to get a recommendation from you guys on a chef knife. The only one I have is just a really inexpensive one from Walmart, and it doesn't really work that well. Actually, here I think I'm using a serrated knife, but I really want to invest into a high quality chef knife. I'm not afraid to spend a little bit of money if it's good quality and it's going to last me pretty much the rest of my life. That's what I'm looking for. Something that I can have for the rest of my life and maybe even hand down to one of my kids. That's the kind of quality I'm looking for. So if you have a recommendation for me, please let me know in the comments below because I really want to grab something like that. All right, guys, full disclosure, I typically do not put spinach in my salads, but I'm trying to incorporate more veggies into my diet, and spinach is something I can, let's say, tolerate. I'm not going to use a whole lot of it here. I'm sort of working my way into it. And here you're going to see my finicky side again. I'm peeling off or pulling off all of the stems. I know, guys, I told you before, I eat like a toddler. But I'm just going to pull off the stems, throw them in my trash bowl. I've talked about how I like to use a trash bowl, in quotes, when I'm working, especially with vegetables, cutting up, throwing away stems and holes and those kinds of things. I'll have this link below for you if you want to check it out. I really love this guy. But anywho, I'm just going to stack up all of my leaves and then chop them up. And then, of course, we're going to go ahead and just do the same thing with this romaine lettuce head. And guys, if you're curious about that green knife, that is actually a special knife that you can use just for lettuce. It helps to keep the edges from turning brown as fast. And of course, I'll have that link below for you as well. And with my greens, the process is fairly similar to the tomatoes. I went ahead and put the water in first, poured in a 1/4 cup of the vinegar, and then I'm just going to sort of stir it around with my hands so that I make sure the vinegar has coated all of the leaves. Set it aside for another 10 minutes so that the vinegar can do its thing. While we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and get started on our tomatoes. As you can see, I have 3 here. I'm actually going to be slicing one of them up for sandwiches and burgers, and then the other 2 will go in the salad. I used a huller to sort of dig out that whole part of the tomato. I actually bought that for strawberries, but I'm finding it works really, really well for tomatoes as well because that little brown, stemmy, holy part, I do not like. Here again, finicky, Lisa. Typically, I would have saved that to chop up into the salad, but for some reason my brain wasn't working and I went ahead and threw it in my trash bowl. So now that I finished up my sandwich burger tomato, I'm going to go ahead and start slicing up the other 2 for my salad. And I typically don't slice them up this way. I typically just dice them, but I was feeling a little bit creative and thought I would wedge them, and I thought it turned out really pretty. So I may do that again. Yay me. Being good, being creative, learning to cook, learning to cut. No, I didn't cut any fingers. I know from above it might look like that, but trust me, I still have all my digits. Tomatoes are done, so it's time to circle back to my greens. I'm going to head over to the sink and drain out all the excess water, and then I'm going to go ahead and spin them in the salad spinner. I think this needs to be renamed though. I like salad slinger. And you know what it's missing? It's missing a suction cup on the bottom. It does have a rubber ring around it that's supposed to help it stick to the counter, but there's so much movement and vibration with the spinning part that it doesn't do a good job of that. So yeah, I've invented it, the salad slinger. Just put a suction cup on the bottom and you're good to go. But I've spinned out all the water. I wanted to show you the excess water that came off of it. All of that would have still been on my lettuce had I not slung it off. All right, guys, let's move on to my egg, my one single solitary lonely little egg. I'm going to use a slicer here to slice it up. This makes things so super easy and simple. See how easy that was? And it's the perfect little slivers for a salad topping. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention earlier, I just left the lettuce in the little colander part of the salad spinner, and then I just sat it on top of a cooling rack so that it's still getting a lot of airflow and can continue to air dry. But the next step in our process is just to dice up this chicken breast that I talked about earlier. So I'm going to be doing that now, and then once I have all of the little pieces, sort of bite-sized pieces chopped up, I'm going to add it to a glass storage container, and then I'm going to pour the organic chicken broth on top of it and keep my fingers crossed that it keeps the chicken moist throughout the week. Guys, that pretty much takes care of all the actual prep work. Now all I have to do is just make sure everything is in a storage container, and I'm going to cover it up, of course, with an airtight lid. Pop everything in the fridge, and then all we have to do when we're ready for a salad is pull everything out and build it. And we're going to be able to see everything through the glass containers and know exactly what we're using. An amazing tip for you. Highly recommend it. This is a great way to get your salads in because it's already prepped and ready to go. You don't have to worry about all the fussy work when you're not feeling it.
Thank you so much for joining me for another meal prep video. I really hope you guys are enjoying this series. I know it is helping me so much. Guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button on your way out if you're not already subscribed, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!